So this is Star Bethlehem. The first thing you can do with anyone in any kind of flower essence work is to help them make them feel better. And these first two slides, Star Bethlehem and Serato, are core remedies for helping someone feel better. This white little lily, Star Bethlehem, is for shock and trauma. I saw it one time, only once. I was in Boulder, Colorado, and there was a snowstorm, and I was out on a bluff, and I looked down, and there, growing out of the snow, were the Star Bethlehem. And that's exactly what it does. It breaks through the frozen condition of your system. And you can use Star Bethlehem for someone for a very long period of time. The direct acupoints for it are these two here, right at the diaphragm. Conception vessel 14 and 15, great deficiency and dovetail. And what these do, these 2 points, and they are on the midline of conception vessel. The midline of the conception vessel starts at the and it goes up through the mid. This is one of the main rivers of the meridian system. The other one is on the back midline. And what these two do is reconnect the pericardium, or the heart protector, to the heart itself and help you to be able to function again. The second one that's very helpful, in fact, universally helpful, and that actually can be used in any type of work, but is Serato. It's a little blue flower. These look large, but they're small. And it's from the Himalayas. Dr. Bach found it naturalized in the UK. And one time we moved into a property and it was growing underneath a redwood tree. And I had been longing to see this plant for so long. And I looked down and there it was, looking like blue stars. It was so exciting. So what Warren and I found when we researched this flower is that it was vibrating above the meridian system. It wasn't even on the meridian system. It was similar. This flower is similar to blue lotus. And so we put it on Heart 7, Spirit Gate, and that is the source point for the heart meridian. Serato helps you to know what is true for you, despite what anybody else says. And that is the core issue that we need today, is to be able to be in contact with our heart and to be able to discern what is true. So this flower is incredible. And when you put it on the source point for the heart, the source points are self-regulating points. That means, and there's one source point for each meridian. And what it does is it moderates if you have too much chi or too little chi in that meridian. So it's a really wonderful point to use for Serato. And of course, you're also, if you're working with people, family, friends, clients, you can certainly put these Star Bethlehem and Serato and other remedies into a dosage bottle for a month, and you give it to them as well. But during the month, you also want to be applying these single remedies, Serato to Heart 7, and these meridian, these acupoints that are shown here that are on the left and right sides of the body are applied not only to the right, but also to the left point. There's a mirrored point on the other hand. But if they're in the middle, like the midline, that's just one point. So, and you want to be helping them to show them how to use these single bottles of Serato directly on its point. When they're home by themselves, you have to give them a single bottle. And then what will happen is that the whole thing that you're trying to achieve for them will move swiftly or faster. This flower, this is rock water. Rock water was developed by Dr. Bach using solarized water from a well, and he developed it for people who were having trouble feeling vibrations and also who were closed. This is a picture from Panther Meadow in Shasta of the very sacred spring there. And the direct acupuncture point for rock water is, here's the navel, and it's a couple inches down from the navel, and it's on the conception vessel. Again, this is the conception vessel downloads your feminine soul forces from the perineum up through the heart, ending at the bottom lip. And this point here, Stone Gate, this whole area around it is your Tan Tien, and this is where your original chi is stored. So adding rock water to this Stone Gate point opens up the original chi and takes the the rock that is on it from bubbling up. And the rock water that's made by Julian Bernard and at Healing Herb is made by the Sacred Well of St. Thomas that Julian was able to find as well. And we use those essences. They're very strong for floral acupuncture. It's very helpful. One of the things that happens when there's abuse and with children in particular, or even anyone, is that you leave the body. And clematis is a remedy for bringing you down into the body, helping you wake up. Gallbladder or bladder 58, fly and scatter, helps you to come down and inhabit the body again. And this inability to stay conscious with your soul during abuse is the reason why children, when they're asked, well, what happened? They say, I don't know, is because their soul forces, their conscious awareness was not there. It was too painful. So clematis is a very important remedy for reestablishing your presence in the body. And it works really well with Star Bethlehem to bring you out of shock. One of the wonderful things that I was witness to when Warren and I did this research together was an answer that I'd had for a long time about sweet chestnut and white chestnut and how they worked and why they did what they did. And when we found the acupoints for them, it explained it. So we have a protocol. We've heard from therapists from around the world who use this protocol. Sweet chestnut is for restoring your spirit, meaning that it opens up the back midline and it downloads your masculine fire into the body, up the spine. And white chestnut is for your mind going round and round. And its direct acupoint is on the perineum at the floor of the torso, and it opens up your front midline. And what it does with white chestnut, because in the white chestnut state, you are outside of yourself and you're looking from everybody else's opinions or ideas of what should be. And so your mind is going round and round. And when you apply white chestnut, a drop, to the perineum, it boots up the midline and it comes through the heart, and the heart comes online and is able to tell the mind that's been going around and round and guide it, and the mind will stop going around. Sweet chestnut, when you put it on its first point on the governing vessel on the back midline, it opens up the whole spine and goes up over the head and stops at its top point here. And the reason that sweet chestnut through Dr. Bach was described as feeling the dark night of the soul is because when your back governing vessel is not online or not working, you're missing your masculine spirit self coming down the Shen, the father forces. It's bereft. So putting white chestnut on that point opens up that ability again for you to have that connection to your fire. And white chestnut, the front midline, is really the feminine soul or the water forces. So you get these two going together, fire and water, and that is a very good thing. Red chestnut is one of the first ones Warren and I found the point for, which is a middle duck. And red chestnut is for anxiety for loved ones. But we found that this treatment, applying it to middle duck, which is, here's the diaphragm and here's the navel and it's right in the middle, is much more than that, because in this state of red chestnut, you are way out there. Your forces are out there. And so when you're considering your child and you're anxious for them, or the child has irrational fears And when you apply red chestnut to middle duck here, what it does is it brings all of your 10 major meridians back in to the body. And so it's a wonderful thing to use to bring you back into your present moment.